Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Gary Holmes. It's my pleasure to be here as your host and webinar leader for the AGAM Questra overview. I'm going to start this evening with a PowerPoint presentation that we've done a couple of times before, but I've been thinking about the importance of this PowerPoint, and it's really exciting to get this internalized so that you can use this tool to enlighten individuals in your circle of influence. Let's look at this statement. If you do what successful, wealthy people do, you will be successful and wealthy too. Is this a true statement? Well, I would have to suggest that it is, because when I was first introduced to the AGAM Questra opportunity by Questra, we discussed it, and she told me about Alex Vela, and that he has been very successful. So I went ahead and started to look at everything that he had done. And then I said, well, if he's doing that, I'm going to do it too. So I know it's a true statement because I'm having similar success and on a monthly basis that he was having, and you can too. So let's really internalize that statement. And we have to help the people that we're bringing into AGAM Questra to fully understand that the plan is already there, it's ready, and all they have to do is be willing and able. So what is it that successful and wealthy people are doing? Well, with the AGAM Questra model, there are specific steps that they need to take, but this is a general overview I want to talk about right now. And so when we look at what successful, wealthy people are doing, it's just basically three things. Number one is very important. It's called leverage of money, and we're all about the leverage of money. And it's the power of being involved with the concept of magic of compound profits. So when you ask people, could you live comfortably on $100,000 a year? I think most people could say yes. The real question, though, is do you have $1 million invested at 10% per annum to live off that residual interest of $100,000? And most people will say no. So the important thing is that we can show people how to attain that $1 million investment in short order. It's not get rich quick, it takes time, but at least we can show them a plan that everybody who invests with the Atlantic Global Asset Management passive income opportunity becomes a millionaire. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, the second important thing that successful, wealthy people are doing beyond leveraging their money is to leverage their time. Now, you may have heard this statement before if you've been involved in networking. I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. Again, is that a true statement? Well, I've had people say to me, no, I want to get a good education and get a good job and be essential to the creation of my income, because nobody can do it better than I can. Wrong. Wow, if you study all of the successful, wealthy people in the world, they always have everybody else doing the work for them. Well, here's an opportunity with the Questra side of this business to do just that. Just before the meeting, Chuck and I were talking about this business is on autopilot. It builds itself, and you'll see that a little later in this webinar. So, are you in a job, just over broke, trading a unit of time for a unit of money? Well, successful, wealthy people leverage time by either having employees or building a team of independent partners. And that was what we're going to show you tonight with the marketing side of the Questra opportunity. And finally, successful, wealthy people pay little or no income tax. Now, this is challenging, especially if you're a citizen of the United States, because in the United States, it's the only country of noteworthy size that taxes you on income no matter where you are on the planet. There's one other little tiny country that does the same thing, but that is the definition of insanity. Wow. So if you came to live here and work in the Dominican Republic, you still have to report your income here to the IRS and pay taxes on your income here that you would earn in the Dominican Republic. Now that is truly obscene, but it is the way it is. So what you could start to do is to learn the concepts of offshore asset protection, and that's exactly where they set up the home office for Atlantic Global Asset Management in an asset protection place called Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde is off the northwest coast of Africa, and it would be likened to the Cayman Islands for North American investors. So the European investors use Cabo Verde, and the North American offshore protection place is the islands and the Cayman Islands and obviously Panama. So you set up offshore bank accounts. Well, what happens when you're involved with the Atlantic Global Asset Management? It's not a bank account per se, although it has all the trappings of a bank account. You can move funds from one account to another within the system at no charge. It has a lot of banking features, and eventually there'll be some superior banking features once they have purchased and finalized their bank purchase of this large European bank. So really internalize that. Know that we must leverage time, leverage money, and pay little or no income tax. And that's where we're going to take people on this educational journey and show them how best to protect all of what they're about to earn. So it's super exciting. So we have two websites that they gave us absolutely free that have both front office and back office capabilities. And the first one is the Atlantic Global Asset Management. We're looking at the home page. We have a news section, the About Us, a little bit of background, the investors' tools, global impact, and a way to contact the folks at Cabo Verde Atlantic Global Asset Management. Now the site is new. It's still under construction. They're still adding to it. I'm not going to spend much time on it this evening. I'll take that for next week. But I do want to spend some time on the Questra World site tonight because it's got a lot of new information. And again, it too is under construction, so not everything's complete, but there is some pretty interesting things that maybe you haven't taken a look at because we never really focus on the two corporate sites. So when we have our About section, this is still yet to be filled out, the company's history, our mission, our principles, stable development, scientific research, reliable partners, and lifestyle. This is still under construction. If you hit on any of these, they're not going to work. When we look at the news section, we do have the news section working, and it provides some background so those people that are not on side with the concepts of multi-level marketing, and I don't really call this multi-level marketing, I call it infinity marketing. It's rather unique. We'll see that in the comp plan a little later on, so you have the opportunity to review the most common mistakes of multi-level marketing, and you also see support of the concept from Donald Trump that he supports network marketing. So these are nice little things. Myths about network marketing is new, and so we have all these new little tools to work with. Business with us, business from scratch, who is an agent, partner, and the opportunities with Questra. We're going to go into some of those in a little more detail in a moment. Offices, official representative offices, and consulting centers. You and I can open up consulting centers, and so that's exciting. Training, leadership training, and online education, and the rest, some different promotional tours that they've done. All this is now on this website, still being developed. Very, very exciting. And so when we look at some of the maps and some of the things where they're headed, let's take a look at that. We look at the growth of the company. It's had some challenges with the European market. And so when we look at the future of AGAM Questra, it's broken into two more companies. LeonoraSwiss.com is the marketing arm of Questra World for Europe. You can see the yellow section on the map, and the AGAM side is now called Five Winds. And so this is still under construction. The countries shown here are listed as the countries that are a part of Questra World Leonora Swiss and the Five Winds, the asset building side. And so understand that we will eventually be able to participate in this, but right at this moment, they're still integrating the database. Oops, wrong map. There's here. I lost it. There we go. Okay, so we saw that one. This is the one I want. All right. So Questra World covers the world, and Five Winds and Lenora Swiss cover Europe. What happened in this area here in Europe? The countries were against cryptocurrencies, and so they made it very difficult for AGAM to get licensed and to do the financial technologies. And so rather than try and fight it, because the purpose of the European nations that were against this was to stop the growth, pure and simple. So rather than fight it, they said, no problem, we just won't do any cryptocurrencies in Europe. We'll create these new companies and we'll just use old school profit building, and that's what they did. And so now they're getting licensed, and all the people that you see perhaps on Facebook that said we don't get paid. Well, the reason they didn't get paid is because of the issues dealing with these governments who are trying to shut us down without shutting us down, just making it very difficult to work. These guys are so smart that they set up 2 new companies specifically to beat these governments at their own game. So now they're getting licensed. Funds will flow once again for those countries. And it's amazing now that those countries are starting to take on the use of blockchain technology. Russia has just allowed blockchain technology, Bitcoin, and President Putin has endorsed the use of Bitcoin in Russia. So, you know, times change, people change, and things change. And it's I guess the only constant we have in this world is change. So be prepared to go with the flow. Because if you're looking for something that's totally stable, you're in the wrong planet. It's not going to happen. So these are maps that are available to you. And there's one more I want to show you. And this one shows you the growth. They opened up in 2016 through to 2017. Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Russia, Belgium, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. That's where they ran into some of the problems. Czech Republic. United Kingdom is actually part of AGAM Questra, even though it's really a European country. And so 2017 through to 2019, Vietnam is now open. When we look at where we're going for 2018 through 2012, you can see that they're handling more European and Asian nations. And finally, when we get to 2019, 21, we're looking at finally Canada, the USA, Australia. Now, we're doing business in all of these countries now. So don't be concerned that you can't do business when you got people in these countries. What you do have to understand, though, is that they don't have physical investment offices doing investments in those countries. And that's what they're opening up. And so they've just recently opened up 16 new investment offices, and we'll show you that list a little later on. So this is the growth, a phenomenal 5-year plan, and they're getting it done. I mean, it's just amazing. And so they have these leadership tours. We see that we're into Vietnam, and we just saw that on the map that they're opening up South Korea and Malaysia. I think Malaysia's going to be ahead of schedule. Let's go back and look at that map. Look at this one. Malaysia. Yeah, we're way ahead of schedule on Malaysia. Physical office is going to be there, but they're already doing the training in advance of. And the Asian and East Indian market is absolutely going crazy. Pakistan, all of these countries shown here, they're getting directors, which is like a lot of money, bouncing through in 2 to 3 months. And it's because the people there see the vision and the value. They look at the 8-year track record and they just fall in love and invest. And that's, I guess, just because they need a way out. The Indian government is trying to eliminate cash. The people there are gold holders, and again, they're concerned that they won't be able to use their gold, so they want to get their money out of the country. And what better to put it into the Atlantic Global Asset Management portfolio? So we have these two wonderful front offices, and we do have back offices as well. So let's take a quick look at the back office for Atlantic Global Asset Management. This is my personal back office, and you can see my ID number, and I just transferred over 127.41 from earnings today. I have not done a lot of investing in this back office. We do it in my wife's back office. There's several packages that you can purchase, and I can assure you that the profits that are being earned and provided to us are modest compared to what the company is earning. I'll give you an example. This is a faded one that you don't get to use until you're a director. But this is a 48-day program, no commission, pays 95% per month. See what I'm saying, folks? When they're doing fintech and when they're doing all these other things that IPOs, ICOs, all of these wonderful things that these 25 asset managers do, they're making a lot more money than what they're giving to us. And you say, well, why aren't they giving us more? Well, because they need to support an infrastructure that's going to be strong to carry them for the next 50 years. And they already have a 50-year plan, folks. So just understand that these are visionary leaders and they really know what they're doing. So you can get 765 on 500 euro in 48 days. That's 153% profit. So pretty substantial. So grow and go into the director programs if you really want to make some serious money. Now, when we look at the difference between the standard packages, which some websites are showing up that this says standard at the top. I don't know why mine disappeared, but it happened after the Bitcoin fork when they shut down for the 3 weeks. And so the white package and the yellow package, they're just showing the lines across the top, and this obviously is white. So just be aware that some websites are showing the names and some aren't. The difference between the two, 10% commission, 312 profit over the year, 280.8 versus 207, 186. That's 100 euro less basically, and almost 100% less. Why would we ever use this white package? Well, there's a difference. This package you cannot cash out, and it's locked up for a solid year. I have one. I wish I hadn't bought it, but I did. I bought it for my wife. I didn't want her to have access to it for a whole year. But now we're seeing that if we hadn't done it, we would have been able to use the magic of compounding the profits. Not that the profits aren't good in this, because it's just phenomenal. It's averaging 26% a month. Now that's an average, and it may not be exact to the amount at the end. But when we look at the value of doing the white package, we have 39% commission, and yet we'll still be able to use the ability to take the profits and buy more packages. And so instead of ending at the end of the year at 186, we'll actually end up at 270. And you'll see that on one of the sheets that we're going to show you in a moment. So when we have the ability to have 3 packages, 390s, we can upgrade and therefore lower the commission rate to 36 and raise the profit rate to 218. And so with 3 270s, you could buy an 810, and with 3 810s, you could buy a 2430, and with a 3 2430s, you can buy a 7290 and 3 7290s, etc., etc. Now we're down to 10%, 7%, 3%, and 3% up to 5 million. Who invests 5 million? Well, there's a video on the website, passiveprofitsforyou.club, that actually shows you somebody in England putting 5 million in. Remember, this program started originally for high net worth investors only. If you didn't have a $500,000, you didn't get in. Well, in 2014, they decided to open it up to average everyday folk like you and I, and it's gone crazy ever since. And it's just a blessing that in 2015 they realized that investors are not marketers. And even though it was going crazy, they didn't do a good job of the market. So they created the Questra side, the advertising agency side, so that that would focus on marketing, and the Atlantic Global Asset side would focus on making the money. Great way to do it, because if you have investors that don't want to market, they don't even have to know about Questra World. And they would never find it, quite frankly, if they became involved. You would have to show them how to become involved. And that's your job, of course, as a partner. And that gives you that choice to share with investors that there is an opportunity. And if not, just take the referrals and sponsor them yourselves. So my packages, I have a 90 and I have a 270. And you can see the consistency here, 5.48, 5.28. Well, let's show it on a bigger scale. I keep forgetting to do this. We go to the manage section, and you can start to see that the bigger graph, 5.4, 5.2, 5.12, 5.47, 5.16, 5.3, 5.27. We had a 3-week vacation here, forced by the Bitcoin fork. Not that they wanted to do it, but for safety purposes, they didn't want to hurt any of us. Smart move on their part. So we did have a little dip here. We went from 5.04 to 4.45, back up to 5.29, and now at 5.46 last week. Why was this dip? Bitcoin dropped 30% in 1 week. And how much did we drop? Insignificant. You see the power of having the stability of 25 asset managers? Here they are. Here's all the asset managers' names. You can see them in your back office. Here's the profit for the week. You can see some are down, some are up. And that's the beautiful part about this. When you go into those digital currency, cryptocurrency markets, and you invest in those coins, they go up and down like a toilet seat at a mixed banquet. And even if you're spreading your risk over 5 or 6 of them, you're still not going to have 25 different versions, and 4% of whatever you've got invested is divided. So if one goes down, it's not going to take you all the way down. And that's why we had this little tiny hiccup compared to 30% drop. And so average everyday folk are not good at speculation. And when you look at the stock market plays on the fact that newbies that enter in will buy high and sell low. And that's how the players make their profits. And that's exactly what's happening in the cryptocurrency world. It's the next big stock market, unregulated. And not that it's not making people a lot of money, but you've got to know what you're doing. I've heard more people that have come to us that have lost money than have made money. So this is the stable place to be. You want to put your money here, and then if you've got profits that you want to take out, you can, because you have the ability to use your profits in the colored packages. You're not locked in like you are with the standard package. So those are the neat little things that you can do within your back office here. They have a complete history of every transaction that you do. So everything is noted, all the movements. You can see they go on for page. And I move little amounts every time I get them so that I can add them up to get another 90 package. Keep adding. The more that you invest, the faster you'll get to that million. I think we're down to 1.9 years now to get our first million. So it's pretty exciting. And then we have our marketing side. We have the Questra World side. And amazing things are happening. It's just getting better all the time. Once you've completed your paperwork and you want to get back to the person who invited you to this call to get signed up, don't do it by yourself. I'm not saying they're not capable. I did it by myself, but I watched the videos that are available first. But there are a couple of little neat things that if you don't get right the first time, it could cause you a week or two of stress. So just get back to the person who invited you, do a Skype call or a Zoom meeting, and share your screen, and they'll walk you through exactly how to set it up and do your profile, get your documents uploaded, and it'll eliminate all that stress. I know Mike's got some challenges we're going to work on tomorrow with him, and get those things resolved. So these will all be eliminated. Once you have this back office, you have two links. This one takes you to the website that we saw here, and this one takes you directly to your sign up. And so we'll just take a quick peek at this. We'll come back to the website in a moment. But this is the sign up page. You want to make sure that your name is in here along with your number, and we'll show people how to register. And it's pretty simple to do. We have found here in the Dominican Republic that we have two major carriers for cell phones and a couple of minors. And with the two different carriers, one works well and sends you the SMS message, and the other one, which is Claro, doesn't. So we've learned all these little idiosyncrasies, but you're not going to have to deal with that because you don't live in the Dominican. Oh, all right, back to the site. Now, when you start to see the growth, we have a partner profit. I've been in since the 5th of May. It's coming up to my 20th work week. I subtracted the 3 weeks that we couldn't work, and I'm up to 18,287. That's about 23,000 US. Not too shabby for a startup business where I've capitalized my business with a 90-year-old outlay. Now, obviously, I've added more. We're at 303,450 in total sales. So I'm less than 200,000 away from a substantial bonus. We'll show you that in just a moment. Now, last week was the best week I've ever had. 33 new people joined. Not to say they funded, because they didn't. And these 22 people here are probably not a part of the 33 here. It seems to take about a week to 10 days to figure out how to get yourself funded. And we've got a whole section on our website how to do that. You got to pick the countries you're living in and use the tools for those countries. We finished off with 31,710. I personally sold 3,090. Made, well, that's over 15 grand. $1,500. So that was my best week. Here this week, we're at 23, 15, 40,000. Chuck's just going crazy with this opportunity, as is his group. And I don't get paid on that, but that volume counts for me. So I'm super excited to see 40,000. That popped me well over the 300,000 mark, because it's all based on group volume. No monthly quotas, nothing to buy, really simple stuff. And so the grand total, 605 people, all on the educational journey to figure this thing out, of which 251 people have now made a purchase of at least a yellow package, and they got started. Now, what's important about that, and what I'm so proud to tell you about, is that that's 251 people that will be millionaires in 6 years or less. I have never worked in a business, and I've been in business for 49 years. I've never worked in a business where everybody I touch that gets involved becomes a millionaire. This is the first business I can truly and honestly say we're creating millionaires. That is awesome. So when we have the ability to provide this opportunity, we're millionaire makers. You get to be a millionaire maker, and the sooner you start, the sooner you get your million. Because each week you don't invest. It's a week of profits you can never get back. You can't turn that clock back and say, oh, I wish I started 6 months ago. It ain't going to happen. So get yourself in the way, even if it's with only €90. And that's a great way to start, but there's better ways to start, which we'll show you in just a moment. So there's the back office for the Questra world. It shows you your business. So it starts slow. I mean, I talked to a few people, and it took about 3 weeks for them to figure out how to get funded, because I was just learning myself. Then we had a nice little bump, did 13,000 in business. See how detailed this back office is? And then it kind of slowed down again for people to figure out how to get funded. Then we had one of Chuck's major leaders go on board, really popped in about 20 grand, and that was the tallest line, 32,000, which was better than last week, but it did gain the profits. We earned 2,900. And then we had the little blip here for the 3 weeks, and then we started strong, kind of dropped down, and boom, look at what's happening. Momentum is occurring. People are getting their act together and figuring this thing out, and I don't know what it's going to be. It's up and down, but the fact is that we're seeing steady growth, and I think it's going to continue. Why? Because people are finally figuring this out, that it's stable, it can be insured, and it's paying on average 5% a week. And that is so good for so many people who are looking for a safe, secure investment. So in your back office, you have a list of all of your people. So all 605 people are shown here. And yet we go down and there's not 605 people. When I first saw this, I'm saying, well, how do you count your downline? Well, let's go to, let's just see here, who we got. This is a pretty interesting story here. Rich Janoka, good friend of mine, got involved back on the 18th of May. I joined on the 5th. So I sent out an email to my database, and he's a friend. He said, well, I'll join. So he joined with 360, and isn't that anything? Blown away. Yet he's got 137,510 worth of sales volume underneath him. You see, it's not what you do, it's what everybody else does with you or without you. So that's what happened. He just didn't do anything, and that's his prerogative. If he wants to just be a passive investor, he can do that. But he did involve one person, and that one person involved Chuck. And so we start to see these little arrows. We click on the arrow. We involve Rich Stanley. I did the presentation. Rich started off, I think, with 90, and then he's up to 1170. And he has involved 414 people. No, not at all. But he still has 176,000 in sales volume. But who really did it, and we click on Rich, Rich introduced Chuck to the business. And Chuck and I have gotten along like we've been friends forever. And so I've helped Chuck when I can, when he needs my help, and he's involved some major players. You can see 415, 414, so he sponsored one person, that's it. And the unique thing is that he's missed out on 1,000, 2,000, and 5,000 euro bonuses because he's not building his business, and they won't give him the money, because if they did, it would be a Ponzi scheme where the people who got in first paid all the money. So you see, legal, lawful, ethical, moral, very profitable, and the people who work get paid. So when Rich wondered why he wasn't getting his bonuses, we looked it up in the back office in the Questra World documents, and sure enough, it said you've got to have at least 50% of your volume in another leg or another team or whatever you want to call it. And so he's gotten to work, and he's made some bonuses. Well, Chuck comes on board, and his little group has been responsible for 408. He's at 167, 160. And so when we click on Chuck, it just goes on forever. Why? Because there's 408 people. He's the bulk of my business. I'm grateful, because all of that volume helps to get me to my bonuses. I don't get paid anything on any of his people anymore, because he's at the same level 5 in earning potential as I am. Sonia's another leader here that's doing well. I don't know where Sonia is here. We'll find her in just a second. Sonia, where did you go? They're all over the world too, as you can see: United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Oh, I know why, because we're still in this. Sonia is working 1,000 different jobs. She's a hard-working lady, lives in Canada, and she now has 18 people. And the amazing thing about Sonia, she's got a beautiful testimonial on the website, which we'll show you in a second. But she sees the picture here, and so she's personally been taking all the money from her part-time Saturday job, and she puts it into this program because she wants to get out of her regular jobs and do this full-time. And she's going to do that because at 1,710 euro in a year from now, she won't need to work another day in her life. She'll be a very, very wealthy lady. And so she's got 18 people involved, and some of them are starting to get action. I continue to sponsor people. That's my job. Leadership by example. I never ask anybody to do anything that I'm not prepared to do myself. I just got a wonderful lady in Japan. And she signed up because she's in the United States, but she's gone back to Okay, so that's she's got 2 accounts. Now we got a problem. Which account she's going to use? So anyway, we'll figure that out. There's all kinds of little things that we're still learning. So this is not an exact science. I do know more than most because obviously I'm working this thing. And so if you do need help, I'm here for you. We'll try and work through your challenges if you have any and get you fixed. Right, Mike? So, all right, so that's the back office that you've got. You can play with and look at. It's really, really neat. Now what I want to do is kind of share with you some of the investment opportunities. When we look at what we can do with the opportunity, we have the ability to create our weekly story. And I do this, and I think Mike's starting to do it as well. But the point is that it's all about stories, not just facts alone. And so every Monday now, I'm not doing it every day like I was because I'm getting too busy, but 19 work weeks in AGAM Questra, Monday, October 2nd. When you see this next Monday, we'll see a big bump. It'll probably be around 23, 24,000. And so that's pretty exciting. And I just tell my story, and I post this on Facebook, I post it on LinkedIn, and I put it on Internations, which is another networking. But this is the key. Look at 238, and where are we at right now? We're at 251 since Monday. Isn't that exciting? Wow, 50 new millionaires. Wow, just can't tell you how excited I am that this is happening. And so I just tell the story, then I put my links in. You can use this as an example. They're on the website. So you have all these tools to work with. Excuse me. Now, I started with 90 euro. If I had known better, if I had more money, I would have started with more. And it's only because 90 is good, but more is better. You see, when we look at this little chart, that again, this is strictly an example. It's not the official website. You can't invest more money than you are, ability. You shouldn't spend more money than you can't afford to lose. Week 33, this is where the first change starts to happen. You can see 285 here. This 285 shows constant, but it won't be. I showed you my site, and it was going up and down. Why? Because there was the slight variation from 5.2%. So, for example, we get down to week 33, we've earned enough profit now to buy our second package. And then we go down here to our first year, we bought our third package at week 49, and at week 52, we've now got 270 versus the 280 in the standard package. You say, well, I should still do a standard package because I earned 280, 10 euro more. No, you shouldn't, and here's why. You can take the money out at any time. So if there's a medical emergency, you need to buy something, you can grab this 270 and pull it all out. It'll take probably 3 to 4 weeks to do the whole amount. It takes a week to 2 weeks to get the smaller amounts out, depending upon how you're doing it, whether it's through Bitcoin or wire transfer, perfect money. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And here's the big difference. Look at this. 270, 52 weeks later to 104, we're at 810. Now, if you had two 90 standard packages, you'd be at, what did they say? 270, 280, 816, 560. Here we're at 810. That's a big difference. And that's the magic of compounding the profits. And it just continues to grow and go. Third year, week 156, we're at 5,000. So if we started at 5,000, we'd be down here at 26,000 in your fourth year. You can see all the little pluses. Now you're going to see some minuses, and there are glitches in this program. This is not an exact science. The program has some glitches in it. It's not an official website from Questra. So, just be aware that you're going to have more money than shows here because they actually take money out, and we don't know why. Nobody can figure it out. We don't know who created this. Anybody I've talked to doesn't know. So it is what it is. It's a tool just to give you an idea of where you're going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. Well, this is exciting. And when I say in 6 years or less, Everybody gets to become a millionaire. So at the end of 6 years, 312 weeks, with €90, you're going to have 2,139,480. But here's the good news. Just 2 months later, 9 weeks after reaching the 2 million, you'll have another million in 9 weeks. That's called the magic of compound profits. Super exciting. Well, so if we start at €90, because that's all you got, that's where you start. And don't miss out. Remember, each week you're not investing is a week of profits you can't get back. So let's take a look now over here at our 180. So if we could start with 180, would that be better? Absolutely. You would think you would get twice as much. 270 at the end of 1 year for 90. What do we got here? Amazing difference. 720. So it's not twice as much. That magic compounding takes us from 540 to 720. All right? So could we do something better than that? Well, sure. Look at how quickly we get to a million. We're going to be at a million a whole year sooner. Right here at week 248, less than 5 years, we're at a million. Really exciting. So let's take a look at 270. 270, if we take that for a year, brings us up to 1260. And that was only €90 more than the 180. And so again, it just shortens that time window when we get to our first million. Our first million shows up way back here at week 229. That's euro, so converted to US, you'd probably be back about 227. So you can see it's a lot less time to get to your million. And at week 256, which is 4 years and a bit, 5 years, we're at 3.5, and it's just 270 now. When we get to 4 years and 11 months, we'll get to 3 million. But in just 1 year, 1 month later, we go to 32 million. The more you put in at the beginning, the faster you get to the big bucks. One more, 810. Let's take a look at 810. What happens at 810? Can you do 1,000 US? Of course you can. Sell something, borrow something, cash something in. If you've got a 401k or an RRSP, it's probably losing your money. Pay the taxes on it, get it out, and stick $1,000 a year. Look what happens. Just amazing the growth you're going to have. There we are, 3 years, 326,000, pay off your house. 4 years, 3 million in 4 years with 810. Last but not least, we can do 49.50. You got $5,000 sitting around doing nothing. Take $5,000. First year, 38,000 from 5,000. Second year, 328,000. Third year, 3 million, folks. So it just gets better. Do 20 grand. Do whatever you can. Did I put up at 20 grand? No, I didn't. Doesn't really matter. So these are available on the calculator. And so where do we find all these new tools? I'm saying to myself, when I'm watching this, let's get rid of all these new things. And we'll bring the site back up. Here we go. All right, so where do we find this? I created a website. And this website is for you to use, for me to use. And it has everything that I know on it. And everything that other people know on it, because they send stuff to me, and we've added some other websites to it. So it's a library site. There's nothing fancy, nothing, to motivate people other than to find what you need to know. So we have why AGAM Questra. Very important, 25 reasons. Go through it. We can do it tonight because we're spending time in other areas. Overview and videos. All of what you need to know to contact home office. Here's the way to do it. And so we have videos. We have ways to get started. Everything's on this page. Watch everything that I've watched, and you'll know what I know. We have our webinars page. And so tomorrow, this will be showing next week's webinar, and the recording from tonight will be showing here. And so that's where you find it. We did our first seminar in Spanish tonight. Charles did a wonderful job, but we had some challenges with the website, so we've worked on that. And we're not going to put the recording up because it was a little challenging for him to click on a link and not get what he wanted. So we won't post that one. We'll start again for next week. If you got anybody that's skeptical, it's really simple to handle the skepticism of people using this map. We have 16 new countries that we've opened up. The two founding companies, Questra is located in Spain, and AGAM is in Cabo Verde, right over here. This is all you need to say to people. There are 18 bricks and mortar offices, of which 16 are the newest shown above. There's many more coming. The two offices that aren't shown are the head offices in Spain and Cabo Verde, and I showed you where they are on the map. Now, do you think that 18 countries who have allowed AGAM Questra to set up shop in each of their respective countries would have done a complete review of the company before granting licenses to open a physical office in their country? You're darn right they did. So would you think it would be smart thing to listen to someone on the internet who's saying in his or her opinion that this AGAM Questra opportunity is a scam when 18 countries say it's not? Who do you think's got the facts? The person with the opinion or the governments who've gone through their books? The government, of course. So I would follow the lead of the countries who've reviewed and say, if they're good enough for those countries to open up, good enough for me to put my money in. Now, if you want to slander this company, be prepared to prove it, or you're going to court. And it's already the first court case is done there, and I'm sure there's more coming. So just understand that these guys mean business. So that's how you handle skepticism. You know, you can't fix stupid. If people just want to believe the stuff on the internet, wow, it's not for them. How to fund? It's all here. Now, we've got several different ways to fund now. We have blockchain technologies, which include Bitcoin, Ethereum, which is shown here. We've got two new ones, which is Litecoin and Dash. I know nothing about Litecoin and Dash, but you can learn about it. We have ways to fund in Canada, ways to fund in the United States, ways to fund in Australia, down under. It's all here. You've got to read, you've got to study, and if you're outside of the United States, you can even do a direct bank wire if you have more than $5,000 to invest, okay? And if you need any help, no matter who you are, no matter what group you're in, I'm here to help. We have a tools section. We've got an awesome website that you can look at from another wonderful lady who's in the business doing very well. And she created a site called Questra for Dummies. And the Questra for Dummies site has a lot of superior information in it, which you can view as well. Very nicely laid out. You can read all about it. It's all here for you. So we've got all these deep tools, business cards, scripts and emails, social media, news, testimonials. We've got two awesome testimonials. We got Mike's testimonial was just placed here, and we've got Sonia's here. Please read these. These are the stories that you need to tell people about, and they're very powerful. And I hope each and every one of you on this webinar this evening are in leadership capability. Will put your testimonial, send it in to me so we can get it up here on the website so others can see that it's not just me having all this wonderful success. You want to know who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing? Here's all my contact information, how to reach me. I really like to use Skype. I don't really enjoy using my cell phone. And so if you want to hook up on WhatsApp, I've got myself a headset so I can do the cell phone, but the cell phones cause brain damage, and I'm already damaged enough, as you know. So anyway, two Skype addresses, direct phone line. I may or may not answer it. My email's here. All of the companies that I run or manage are listed here. Complete overview of my skill sets and what I've done over my life. And there I am with my beautiful wife. So it's all here for you. There's my link to your my contact. You sign up with me. If you're my wife's contact, you sign up with her. But if you're everybody else's contact, you sign up with them. It's very important that you honor the person that sent you to this website. I've got that notification in several places on the site because I'm not here to take anybody's people. I don't need to, and here's why. When we look at the compensation plan, we have the ability to find it. Here we go. And the simplicity of this comp plan is just mind-boggling. Everybody starts as a newcomer because we're all new. And anybody that you would sponsor, you would receive 5% at the first level. Newcomer, 5% level. Now, most people are having to meet quotas and buy products or services. None of that occurs here. It's just strictly invested volume. And so when you and your little group of people do your first 3,000, you become a bronze agent. And I think I did that in my first month. So at the end of the first month, I now got 7%, and anybody that was below me got 5%, and I got the 2% difference. All right, so it's always the difference. So we want to move up these levels as quickly as you can. I got my first 25,000 in volume. I got €1,000 bonus. It shows QP here. QP stands for Questra point. Internally, that's the currency they use to eliminate intervention by any government on the planet. Very smart move. And so 1 Questra point equals €1. So as a silver agent, you pick that up plus all the commissions you earn at 9%. And again, you get the difference. And so if you've got a group of people now that are in bronze, you'll get 2%, and they'll get 2% on their brand new people. You'll continue to get 9% on the people you bring in. And then you get to the gold level at 50,000, you pick up another 2,000. So I think I was just about 2.5 months in to get this bonus at 10.5%. And then we get 100,000 and got the 5,000. And we did that at less than 3 months. 12% is what I receive now, so I get the difference on these. Well, guess what? Chuck is now at the 100,000, more than that, of course. And so I don't get anything on any of his group anymore in terms of commission differential. But all of the volume counts to move me to the 500,000. And we had a quick bump this week. Chuck will tell you in a moment. I think it was about 37,000 that you had 2 or 3 people pop in some funds. And so I'm less than 200,000 away, and I've got a gentleman that I think is going to introduce a group that's going to put in 300,000. So that'll pop me up to my 20,000 bronze bonus, 13%, and that'll make those people, they'll pick up their bonuses once they've built their team. The bonuses are there for you. So when we look at Rich Janoka, he's sitting there on a 5,000, 2,000, 8,000 in bonuses. All he has to do is get to work and start to build his group. Now, Alex is all the way up here at 10 million. He's picked up 500, 650, 7, 20, 5, 7, 8. 728,000 in bonuses. He's earned $1 million in less than a year. If he can do it, folks, you and I can do it. I'm going to do it. If you want to do it, if you do, I'll teach you how. If you'll talk to some people, you will make some money. If you'll talk to lots of people, you will get rich. And the beauty of this program is it pays to infinity. Alex has over 100,000 people in a year. And so 100,000 people, you can't even see how far down they go there. Yet all that volume still continues to help him grow and go to these new bonuses. Now there's a little bit of time left. And so I want to share with you, where did it go? I thought I opened it up. Oh, here it is. Aha. So the top bonus is $1 million. When you do $1 billion, I think, I don't know. Anyway, they had the 11th level was the top. Well, now they've created a 12th and 13th level. And so here's what happens. Once you get to the 12th level, they're going to give you a beautiful condo apartment in Dubai. Now, you can do whatever you want with it. The costs are over $1 million. 3 and 4 bedroom models are available, and it's on the Dubai Marina. And so you have the ability to choose a couple, and then you can use as you like. You can live in your own apartment, you can sell it, or you can rent it, have more income. Then what they did is they created this new 13th honorary president, and when you do there's the billion, you receive your 15%, of course, but now they give you a yacht, $1 million yacht to stick in your marina slip at your Dubai condo. And so there's the Azimuth 50 and the Sunseeker Predator at 57. You get your choice. Sleep 7, free bathrooms, amazing. Don't go water skiing behind that. But anyway, so that's the power of this program. They're visionary. They're forward thinkers. You can market any way you want. And I implore you to get back to the person who invited you this evening and get yourself signed up. You can sign up for free. You can earn your way in. If you have no money, just get signed up and start telling people about it, and then you'll earn enough to pay your way in. I started with 90, but now we're up to, in my wife's case, we have pop out of here, log out, we'll log back in, and so we're up to 3,510 euro, and you can see that we've taken 11,000 out to live on, and we've invested the differential. We have several packages now, and we're trying to buy at least 190 every week. So we'll have another one this week. That'll give us the ability to take the 390s, and that'll give us a 270. And we've got an 810, a 2430. There's that 90 that I bought for her. That was the standard package. Doing really well. Look at 63.13 euro in 4 months. Huge. Great return. So, real deal. All right, well, what we're going to do is if you have any questions, you can raise your little hand, and because we're running short on time, please raise your hand. I'm not going to go through and open it up for everybody, but just raise your hand. In the meantime, let's just hear from a couple of people. Sonia, I'm muting you. Sonia, good evening.
Good evening, Gary.
So how is your team growing this week?
It's not doing too bad. The people that have put in investments are upgrading and putting in money every week. So yeah,
I saw that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Just like you're doing. So, it's this leadership by example that's working for you, isn't it?
Yes, it's working, most definitely. I haven't never seen a program like this before. Never.
Well, we're so happy you've got a game plan to get yourself into this on a full-time basis. You even took on that part-time job to take the profits from that part-time job and stick it in here so we can get in and out sooner, faster for your benefit. That's just awesome.
Retirement.
No, nobody ever retires. The only time you retire is when Daisy's on your chest.
No, retire from a full-time job.
Yeah. No more job, just over broke. You're going to have a career, and you're going to be a director. Awesome.
Exactly.
Wonderful. All right, let's hear from Mike and see what he's doing this week, because I know he's just blitzing Facebook. Mike, let me open you up here.
Thanks for the presentation, Gary. That might have been your best yet, and I've been to a few of them.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
I just thank you, and thank you for your time. I just try and stay busy, keep putting the word out there, answering questions as they come. That I've learned most of them from you, if not all of them. And if you're new here, for the first time, you're definitely in the right place. Stick with the person that sponsored you and or I mean invited you, and definitely take Gary up on his offer because he is more than helpful and more than willing to do so. And again, Gary, thanks for another great presentation.
Thank you, Mike. You know, folks, it's just important for you to understand that I do it for selfish reasons. I think that when you look at the power of this pay to infinity program, you could be 1,000 people below me and I'll still help you because your volume still counts to get me to that $1 billion level so that I can pick up my yacht in my Dubai conference. Question from Peter. He says, where do we find the Questra information on the volume? Well, okay, I'm going to show that to you right now. What you're going to do is you're going to come into your Questra back office. You're going to go to your document section. Excuse me, and I believe it's this one. You go to watch your contract, you scroll down, and you got to read it all. I can't remember exactly where I found it, but it's in here where it talks about having the volume. So if it's not in this one, it's in the other one. But this remuneration career report to the agent, advertising representative, loyalty program, I don't know, but it's in here. I had to read it. I got a great memory, but it's short. So you can go there and you'll find it in the documents section, and you can also look in this one. And I don't know if it was in this one or the other. That's where you find it. Okay, Peter? All right, any other questions before we go? We're done. Scholar never reads the contracts. Yeah, that's true. But you got to read it. And I have read it at least twice, but there's so much here that you just can't keep it all in. You know, that's one of the things that spaced repetition is the mother of learning. So the more times you go through it, and you know, I just like to say that the reason I'm good at what I do is because I do it all the time. If you did as many presentations as I do, you'd be as good as I am. It's that simple. Remember, if you'll do what successful, wealthy people do, you will be successful and wealthy too. With that said, thank you very much for being here. God bless you all. And we'll hopefully see you next week with some people. Bring all your family, your friends, your acquaintances, and all the strangers you've yet to meet. Bring them here. Invite them. Let them see this great opportunity and share it with them. Thank you so much. Good night.